Broadcasters. Are you ready? It is your time to take a few moments from your busy day to unwind, be inspired, and listen to the psychic insights of your host, empowerment psychic, Halley, Elise, a top 100 psychic, speaker, and author. Off air, be sure to connect with Halley at HalleyElise.com. And now, the Halley Elise Show.
Welcome, everyone. I'm so glad you could join in this evening. It's funny, before the show, I was in my car before I left my driveway, and I was playing around a little bit with Facebook's new things. Now, when you do Facebook Live, it lets you change some things and have images, and the short end of it is that I touched something and I had this blue face, and it was royal blue, and it matched my top. I thought, oh, that's really cool. And I went ahead and I did a little advert before coming on the air, but I was laughing because all you see is that blue. And so I was thinking, wouldn't it be fun if I had one of those to bring in the station? Unfortunately, I don't. So you just get to see the blue of the top instead of the face. You got to go back and watch it. It's really funny. It's on my personal page, not the business page. Maybe I'll share it on the other later. Anyways, I get to the station, and my producer is telling me that I have to be patient. And I'm laughing because I'm one of these people who, I have more patience than people realize. They think that when I'm intense, that I don't have patience. That's not it. It's that I'm laser focused on things. However, if you say to me you're going to do X, Y, and Z within a certain period of time, I kind of expect you to do it. Not because it was my expectation, but because you said that you were going to do that. So that's where it comes down to, and I mentioned earlier, more belief and trust. I think most of us can attest to having that type of situation show up in our world, whether it's with family or it's professionally. There's always some sort of, I'm going to. Now, some people are great. As soon as they say, I'm going to, poof, they're there. They get it accomplished, and it's a wow. And I often find those are the folks who just keep going. They are the ones that you never see them sitting. And if they say they're going to do something, they do it immediately because they need to get it done so they can go on to the next thing. I'd say the majority of us, though, have a scale that we use. And sometimes we are more aggressive at making things happen than others. I believe, truly, that is actually the better way, and I'll tell you why. If we are always running, if we're always on a high, if we're always trying to maximize, at some point we're going to burn out. It's really important to remember that harmony, that inner harmony, that ability to just kind of slow things down, whether you meditate or you do breath work or visualization or do nothing but listen to beautiful music, or even just close your eyes and be still. We all need that at times. I had a lady in the office just the other day who is absolutely lovely and brilliant and talented in a plethora of ways. And I could see, as soon as she came into the room, that her energy is kind of going like this. And it's shaky. It's all over the place. It's scattered. And it's not that she was so scattered as it was she felt off. And when she sat, I even said to her, it's interesting because I'm noticing this little wiggle with your energy. And I think that's the word that I used. And she goes, that's really weird because I just feel off. And what came up was that she has been running, taking care of all the normal things. And then she took on several other things that she probably should have said no to. And again, I think all of us can relate. At some point we do this. This is where not only being harmonious is important, but also listening to that inner guidance. What does your intuition tell you? Now, you do not have to come to me or anybody else who is a psychic, whether they're top 100 or they're best because grandma said so, or because you saw an advert that was lovely, or you just know that they are, to have information. At least not for that day in and day out. That's something that you are supposed to listen to on your own. We are here to help you navigate, to help you overcome obstacles, to give you a clear view as to what's coming next and how to best circumvent it and what you can look forward to. But that daily stuff, that's really about you. And that's about you paying attention to your own inner guidance. Most people think, oh, no, well, I just don't know. I don't know how that works, and I just can't. But the truth is you can. How often have you heard somebody say, oh, so-and-so called today, and it was funny, just because before, tripping over my words here, before they called, I thought about them. And I got that feeling that I should pick up the phone. And then the phone rang, and it was them. We hear that type of thing all the time. Maybe not about a particular phone call, but I thought about somebody and I ran into them, or I thought about someone and my friend talked about them, or I saw them in the paper, what have you. The point is that inner knowing, that inner guidance, it's there to serve us. It's a matter of paying attention to it. When it comes to running about like a crazy person, check in with yourself and actually say, is this the right thing for me in this moment? And listen and take notice of what your body does. Take notice, does your breathing change when you ask those types of questions? When you know it's a positive versus a negative? Does your heart rate speed up, or is it still? Or do you feel a pang in your stomach? All of these things that seem as if they are just biophysical reactions are more than that. You hear me say all the time, and I've been doing this for forever, that it's a mind-body-spirit connection, just like the yogis say. It's not just something that was made up from Eastern philosophy. It's not just something to do because you study yoga or because you've meditated. Whether you've done anything or not, ever, you have the ability to intuit information. You are born with that information. You are born with that gift. It's a matter of learning to listen, learning to pay attention. When we have these extraordinary things that show up in our world, that's when it's most important to ask yourself, is this for me? Is this important? Is this something I should do? Versus just being on automatic run, on automatic yes. Most of us like to please other people, especially those we care for. And when somebody says, can you do? We say yes, because we love and care for those people. The idea, though, is to say yes when it's win-win more often. I'm not saying always, but I am saying more often. If you know you're exhausted and pushing just that little bit more is going to put you out of commission, then perhaps listening to that little voice that says, take a break, really should be listened to. Okay. I know sometimes I get on my little soapbox here, but I've just been running into so many people who truly are incredulously busy and constantly saying yes and going and going. And I'm also running into more people who are on medication to help them de-stress. There's a gal that I know who is absolutely lovely. She just sees the world so beautifully. She's got a great spirit. She's very warm, loving individual, and she takes drugs to get her day started. Not because she's unhappy, but because she gets stressed out. She's also the type of person that if you say, hey, do you want to go? She says yes. Is this happening? Yes. Would you? Yes, 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 yes. And this is why I'm saying that harmony, that balance, that scale is truly very important. Really give some thought. What is it that you can do to create a little more peace, a little more harmony, a little more patience, a little bit more quiet within? And consider that it doesn't have to be monumentous, meaning it does not have to be where you say, okay, every day now I'm going to make a commitment. I'm going to take an hour in the morning when I get up and I'm going to bust my buns to make sure that I do the Zen thing and I pay attention and I contemplate. That's great if you feel that it really fits into your world. Conversely, if you just want to have that connection of peace, it can be done in 3 minutes. It can be done in 1 minute. It's practice. I often talk about breath work because I find it to be truly one of the easiest ways that you can tap into that inner knowing and the divine simultaneously. And it doesn't take long. It's just practice. Be open to practicing being mindful. Be open to practicing peace. Be open to practicing, is this right for me? And that can apply to a lot of things, not just going somewhere or saying yes. It can apply to making an expenditure. You go in somewhere and you're like, oh, wow, that's awesome. Hey, I should get 10 of those because they're on sale. And you never know when you're going to need it, and it's a great price. And, if I don't use it, maybe I can sell it. Check in with yourself, even with something as simple as that, because that little extra that you might be spending there, you might have been able to spend somewhere else that would make you happier. If you just take that simple moment to say, should I do this? Is this right for me in the moment? I guarantee you will get a knowing, a feeling, a sensation. Something will come up for you that is individual, that lets you know yes or no. And if you say, oh, no, I've tried that and I just don't get it, then I revert back to what I said earlier. Listen to your body. What's going on there? And you can test yourself very easily. Take something that you know to be true and close your eyes for a moment and say to yourself that truth. So, for instance, I might say, I'm wearing a royal blue shirt. I know this to be true. And when I say it, I get a sensation right here in my chest, in my heart. To me, that's a yes. For you, you may find the sensation is at the top of your head or your stomach, or you just get like a little flutter, or you find temperature changes. It's very unique and different for each one of us. We do not have to be identical. And this is why everybody senses in a myriad of ways, because we are individuals in the same way that our fingerprint is unique. We are unique in the way that we hear information, in the way that we perceive information and knowing. It is not identical. There are many people that, yes, receive information in the same way. Absolutely. However, even with that, you will find that one person leans more in one direction than another. So give some thought to what is it that you can ask yourself that you know is a positive yes, and close your eyes, take a breath, ask the question, and take notice of where do you feel it. Do the same for the negative. Something that you know with absolute certainty is a no. For instance, the no could be, you want to go back to school for another 10 years. And you know that would be emphatically incorrect. Close your eyes, take a moment, and ask yourself. Notice how it feels. That yes and that no sensation, that's your intuition talking to you. We're going to take a quick break, and we'll be right back. If you'd like to call in for a psychic reading this evening, it's 888-565-1470. We'll be right back. This is your empowerment psychic, Halley, Elise, one of the top 100 psychics in America. For over 30 years, I have offered psychic readings, programs, spiritual guidance, and other life skill techniques. As our lives have become more complicated, we often reach for answers. Who are we? Where are we headed? Are we pointed in the right direction? In addition, we often are concerned for our loved ones. I have helped thousands of people navigate their life circumstances through different modalities of spiritual and intuitive guidance. Call me at 561-755-2166 and allow me to further explain how I may assist you in clearing the path of yesterday so today and tomorrow will be a success. Call me at 561-755-2166 or visit my site, HalleyElise.com. That's HalleyElise.com.
You have been listening to empowerment psychic Halley Elise, a top 100 psychic. She is your connection to all things spiritual, psychic, and empowering. Your guide to peace and wisdom. For a private appointment off air, call 561-755-2166. Now, back to the Halley Elise Show with empowerment psychic, Halley Elise.
Welcome back, everyone. I know we have some callers on the line, so we'll take Miss Lori first. Hi, Lori. How are you?
Good. How are you?
Good, thank you. Did you have a specific question that you wanted to address this evening?
Well, I'm at a crossroads with my career, and I'm interested in doing something that offers more flexibility to my schedule, and I just wondered what you might see for that.
Okay. My feeling is you already know that to enable you to have that lifestyle that you want, that means you really have to do it yourself. Now, there are things such as sales, which you could go into and have more flexibility, but I feel like at the level that you really want, it means being more of an independent contractor, being more independent overall. And what I would like to suggest, because you're not quite there yet, even though it's in your mind and you want to see this transition take place, I'd like to suggest being independent part-time while you still hold on to what you have. Even though it's not really where you want to be, it serves a purpose.
Absolutely.
Because you are the type of person that needs to know that you've got security. And some people, they're able to just go, willy-nilly, I'm going to just leave this, I'll find something. That would make you nervous.
Right, exactly.
Okay, so if you can really allow yourself to start focusing when you're off from the other job on cultivating your independence, my sense here is within, I'd say, 2.5 months, you will be at a place where you start to recognize that it's starting to fall into place. And then another, I'd say 4 months afterwards, you could actually leave the job.
Okay.
So it's really quick. It's not as difficult as you might think. It's more that knowing in your head that you are safe and secure, that you're not going to have to panic.
Okay. Yes, a lot of crossroads at this point in my life, and that happens to be just one of them. So
right.
Okay.
The other is, it feels to me as if there's something going on with relationship and trying to figure out, what are you doing there? Because as soon as you said hi, there was like this, I need to take a breath. And that one, I feel like you actually have an answer, but there's a little bit of fear that's keeping you from making a change.
Okay.
I'm going to put it like this. If you really sit down with yourself, and I would say take a piece of paper and pen and sit down quiet for a moment and start writing. If my life looked exactly how I wanted it to be with this person, what would that look like? If my life looked exactly how I wanted it to be in respect to my work, what would that look like? And the reason I'm asking you to do this is not because it's supposed to be a roadmap for you, but this will actually give you more clarity, because I feel like when you think about things in your head, they snowball. You start thinking about one thing, and then it's another, and then it's another, and it just builds and builds and builds like that snowball. And you're not getting resolution that way. You're not getting that clarity. Whereas if you put it down, you will be able to look and go, well, yeah, I'm really not having this, and this is really important to me. And, well, yeah, that's really nice, but is that enough? I really, truly feel that you have to approach it a little bit more analytically, because you have been approaching it more emotionally.
Absolutely.
If you do this, you will notice that it becomes very clear. And then it's a matter of letting yourself off the hook. And what I mean by that is you are not a bad person if you make a change.
A change is imminent.
My feeling is whether you choose to do it now or you wait, yes.
It's now.
Yes. Here's the thing. Like I said, you have to let yourself off the hook and be okay with making that choice.
Okay. Yep. And I'm there.
Okay. Because it's really funny. In as much as you want to look after yourself, and I was mentioning earlier on the show tonight about people looking after everybody else, you are one of these people that you don't want to hurt anybody. You want to make sure everybody's okay. You want to look after them, even if it's not comfortable, but you want to know that they're okay.
Right.
And that's lovely. I mean, it really is. Yet, in this moment, it needs to be about you.
Okay.
Okay, my friend?
Yes.
I thank you.
Your time this evening. Okay, thank you. Take care.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
We have another caller on the line, Rosie.
Hey,
Hi, how are you this evening?
I'm breathing deeply.
That's a good thing.
Yes, I'm sitting out by trees, so I need to do that more often.
Absolutely. Connecting with nature makes a huge difference, especially for somebody like you who is so earth connected and you've been indoors way too much.
Yeah, you know how weird it is for me to live in a house rather than a tent right now?
You do realize you could set up a little tent outdoors, right? A little pup tent that you could just take a nap in and pee outside.
Believe me, woman, I've already thought about it with my little DJ.
Besides, you could turn it into something fun for the baby.
Yes, we actually go outside, and all I have to do to him is say, let's go say hi to the tree. And it's really beautiful. He'll walk up to the tree and just, I guess, instinctively, he'll just put both of his hands on the tree, and it's just, I didn't teach him that. He just puts his hands on the tree and stays there and says hi to the tree, and we watch birds together, and
Nice.
definitely spend some time outside together. Yeah, definitely.
Nice. And your children really and truly are smarter than we give them credit for, and it's not because they are verbalizing when they come into this world. It's that there is an awareness, a knowing, a connectedness that's already in existence. And if we allow ourselves to cultivate that instead of squashing it, then they do end up having that balance in their life of both the analytical and the abstract, both the creative and the constructive. And it sounds like the baby is on his way, which is good.
Yes, and I think kids are born differently nowadays.
Well, there's talk of different types of children, different types of beings who are born. You've heard of indigo and crystal. There are many different types that kind of describe how children are different today and how they're coming into this world with more knowing.
Yes, that's how I meant to say it. They are born with more knowing now. That's true. That's very true.
Kind of fun to watch.
Well, yes, I love it. I love the look on his face when he sees the birds show up. It's so great. And it's good for me, too, because I really have not been tapping in like I should be.
Right. Well, he's your incentive right now.
Yes, definitely.
As far as work and all of that, I actually want to lean towards your daughter more than you. And my overall impression is she's really not in the right place for her. You realize that, right?
I'm not sure. She's expressed interest in something else. We've talked about ultrasound tech. She's mentioned a slight interest in something medical. I just started working with a staffing company because we're looking for a night job for me so that we can move.
Right. But as far as your daughter goes, just so that you know, that pull that she's feeling towards, I'm going to say the healing arts with Western medicine is really the right thing for her to go into. And I get this image in my head of her doing imaging. So the best way that I can articulate this is to say, if she allows that door to open, she will get continued education and she will become not only very proficient at what she's doing, she will go on to have several different certifications, degrees, what have you, and do extremely well.
She's definitely been opening up to her weird hippie mommy. You know, she used to make fun of me a lot, but now she's wanting crystals, and now she's just got her first tarot deck, and I call her my little witch. I think she's opening up, yes.
Okay, well, just be aware that for her to really have happiness long term, that's the draw. What she's telling you about making that change, whatever you need to do to have her get that education, it's worthwhile doing.
Now you're seeing a holistic education for her, or
no? I didn't say holistic. What I had said was medical with Western feel, because what I'm getting is more not diagnosis. What's the term here? I'm just drawing a blank. Having to do with technicians, scans, having to do with there's ultrasound, but there's something else here that I'm going to say is just as important. That has to do with scans, and I almost, for whatever reason, get the sense working with some sort of radiography, and not specifically ultrasounds, but like a radiologist, but going from one to the next. So, for instance, she could start out at a medical center doing some sort of sonogram, and next thing you know, she's taking school specifically for radiology to read bone x-rays. I get there being a progression going from one to the next. While she's opening up spiritually, she's being guided towards her career, towards her future. And this is why I'm saying, as best as you can, help her figure out how to get that education, how to move forward.
Okay.
All right. And as far as you go, from what I see right now, things are temporary in respect to anything that you take on. Though I'm going to say 1, 2, 3. Feels like the third thing that you go to, they offer you a permanent position if you want it.
Yeah, because it can only be at night so I can watch the baby so that my daughter can still work.
Well, there's lots of permanent positions in the evening, but just kind of know it's the third thing where you can do full-time with them, whatever those hours are, but that they'll want you more than just a temporary type of position. Thanks so much for calling, Rosie. Have a beautiful weekend.
You too.
Thank you for tuning in to the Halley Elise Show, and we'll be on again next week. And if you missed the little ditty beforehand on Facebook, take a look. It's just kind of funny. Have a great weekend, everyone, and a great week. Bye-bye.
Remember to tune in every week at this time on WWNN for more peace, information, and psychic phenomena with empowerment psychic Halley Elise, Top 100 Psychic. The opinions expressed on the preceding